Welcome back to the Creating a Game in HypeHype tutorial series. In the last video, we looked at building out a level using tile sets and reusables. This time, we're going to build some metagame into our level by creating a scoring system and a leaderboard. We're also going to look at a few ways to communicate with the player using the text and speech nodes. For this demo, we're going to be building out some game logic from scratch, but it is worth noting that a few of these systems are already available as pre-mades in the asset library. I'm going to start here by turning on my logic view because we're going to be looking at logic. Most templates, even the empty scene, come with a game end system already in them. This system has two outcomes based on success or fail, and since ours is a race and it will only end when the player has completed the course, we're probably only going to be using the success side of this. For now, we don't need to worry about this at all. We just need to be aware that it's there. The game we've created so far has two potential scores. It's a parkour map, so of course there can be time. How quickly can you get to the finish? We've also added collectibles, so another potential score is the value of all the collected coins. We could choose just one of these, but that kind of makes the other one inconsequential in our game. For example, if the goal is to get to the end as fast as you can, why would you bother collecting any coins? With that in mind, the ideal score is going to somehow combine both of those, but for the sake of this tutorial, for now, we're just going to focus on the time score and creating a time-based leaderboard. And in the future, we'll take a look at how we can work the collectibles into that mix. Let's start by building out a timer. For this, we're going to need just two nodes. We will need a time node, which is here in the logic section. And then so that we can visualize that time, we're going to want a text node. And we'll just put both of these right next to each other. In the time node, we only have a few settings we need to worry about. For now, we're going to leave this executing right away, which means it'll start counting time as soon as the game loads. We'll probably want to change this later, but for now, that's fine. The direction is forward. That means it'll start at 0 and it'll start counting up. And then stop at end time, we want to toggle off because we do not want it to stop until our player reaches the finish line. The output is going to be the time value, so let's drag that to our text node and select the value as the input. Now we get a prompt here to convert link type. We'll be going into the different types of links in a later video. For now, we just need to know that we do not need to convert this link, which means that this is what we call a pull link, and the text node will always be getting the latest value from the time node. Finally here, we have one more output that we can send when the timer stops, but we're not going to need this one for now. Next, let's check out the text node. We've got a lot more options in this one, so I'm just going to focus on the few that we need to worry about to make this work. First is our text field. I'm going to write time in here since this text node will be tracking our time. The next one we want to look at is type. It has already detected that we're sending a number into it, so it has automatically switched to number, but we are going to want to take that and switch it to time so that it displays our time in the proper format. We can see here in the value field that we're already getting our value from the time node. So the next thing we're going to need to worry about is the position, which is a line X and a line Y. Each of those has 3 possible positions, which give you 9 possible screen positions. By default, it is sent to center top, and that's actually going to be pretty good for us, so we can just leave it at that for now. Let's give it a play test. And there we can see our time is running, but it's running a little slow. It's not slow, it's counting the seconds, but generally when you're looking at a time score, you might be used to seeing the actual fractions of a second. So let's go in and fix that. In the format here, we can just click on that and choose how many decimal places we want to show. I think for time, it's nice to show 3. Let's give it another test. And there we go. That feels a lot more like a working timer. Cool. Now we've got a working timer, but it's not going to stop when we reach the finish line, and it's not sending that score anywhere. So let's build a little more logic to handle what happens at the end of the game. We're going to need 2 more logic nodes for this. So again, we're going to add some logic from the meta category. We want the broadcast listener. And also from the meta category, we're going to want the score node. So first we'll set up our broadcast listener. Our finish line is already sending a game success signal when it is triggered, so we can leave this on game success. And there's two things that we want to happen when it gets that game success signal. First, we want to stop the time node, so we'll go to time, executing, off. And then, of course, we want to trigger the leaderboard score, so we'll go to the score and just execute. Now our nodes are being executed properly, but our score node still doesn't have a score in it, and that's going to be a really simple step of, again, going to our time node, dragging this output into the score, and sending it here to the score. Again, we do not need to convert the link here. Now, when we complete our level, the timer will stop, and it will send that time to the leaderboard. Before we move on, I'm just going to collect this logic into a container. This is not necessary, but it will help keep our hype a little more clean. We can take this and hide it, and then we don't have to worry about that logic floating around in our game world. The last thing we're going to look at for this video is the speech node. The speech node can be found in the sound category of the logic menu and is used to create speech from text. Let's use it to create a greeting for the player when they start the game. In the details panel, we again have a lot of options here, but I'm gonna just focus on the ones that we need. So first, right at the top, we have the execute on start. We are gonna want this speech to play right away, so I will toggle that on. Captions are gonna show the text as well as convert it into speech. So if you want players to be able to read or hear, you can leave that on. Next, we have the text field, which is what the speech node is gonna say. Let's write a little message in here for players when they start the match. And there we go, a nice welcome message that also gives the player a little bit of info about what their objective is. Once we have some text in the text field, we can give it a preview.
Welcome to Maya B. Reach the finish as fast as you can.
There you go. The next option we have here is the voice. There are a number of different voices to choose from, as well as languages. But keep in mind that these are device specific, so people playing on different devices might get different voices. Hopefully the next three here are pretty self-explanatory: speed, pitch, and volume, right? It's how fast does it speak it, at what pitch does it speak it, how loud is it. The last one here, we have start delay. Since this plays immediately when the game loads, it might be nice if there's a little delay here, so I'm going to add a 1 second delay. And then the last three options here are related to the captions. I want our captions to be at the bottom because we already have the score appearing at the top. Caption size small is great. Caption color white is fine. And then finally, we have some outputs here that we can send when the speech starts, when the speech stops. For now, we don't need that. Let's play test, see how it sounds.
Welcome to Maya B. Reach the finish as fast as you can.
And there we go. And that's going to do it for this video. Next time, we're going to continue looking at ways to communicate with the player using the UI node. Until then, happy creating and peace out, Hypesters. In the last video, we looked at creating a level using tile sets and reusables. I knew that. Why did I have to look at it? But we also have collectibles, so there's a score for how many collectibles you've collected. We'll be going into the different type. The text node has three possible positions for the X and the Y coordinates, which means there's 9 possible positions in total on the screen.
Top left, middle, right, center left, middle, right, bottom left, middle, right.
And that's probably reversed for you guys, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna do that again. In the broadcast listener, we need to set up all right, and that does it for this lesson. In the next video, we're going to continue looking at ways to communicate with the player using the UI node. That's it. I said that like there was more coming. Okay. In the next video, we're going to take even more of a look at how we can communicate. Let's start it again.